the supply of USD through monetary policy in any attempt to achieve financial or political goals. So inflation gets away at the value of USD, decreasing its ability to store value over time. So I don't know if you know this, but in the recent years during the pandemic, there was more dollars being printed than ever before, or for a long time, okay? So I read an article probably a year and a half ago that said that if you had $100,000 in the bank in 2020, the purchasing value of that money in 2022 was $92,000, which means that basically you lost $8,000 if you had it in the bank. And that's what happens with when inflation, and that's what's happening with a lot of most of the fiat, which in my opinion is a fraud, right? It's a fraud. So there's also other ways to hedge or to compare this. For instance, the gold example. Gold has proven to be a successful inflation hedge. Robert Kiyosaki says that gold is the money of God because it's a precious metal. And due to practical limited supplies, concrete utility, and general global trustworthiness, however, given to that gold is a volatile asset, its historical hedging ability is realized only at extremely long horizons, okay? Which still is good. Gold is a good way to hedge wealth in the long run. Now, many argue that Bitcoin has no tangible value and therefore should be worthless. However, think about this: how much percentage of gold is used for jewelry, is used for electronic equipment? A good percentage is used for that as well. So the interesting thing when you understand how the economy works, and you understand that you don't need a central bank to regulate value. Value is simply the equation between supply and demand, and that's what gives certain thing value. I was just recently seeing, I love art. One of my passions it's art, and I was looking at a Christie's. Was a bidding in Christie's, and they were bidding. It was a bidding for one of the Da Vinci's. I think it was the most precious work of art of Da Vinci, which somebody paid over $400 million for it. Who gave this Salvatore Mundi, which is the work of art of Da Vinci, that value? $400 million plus. Well, the demand that it had, the amount of people that wanted that. So think about it. And I will give you an example. I'll read an example here. There's something that happened in the early 1990s about the Iraqi Swiss dinar, which was the coin or the fiat, the local coin in Iraq. And I'm gonna share with you this story because I think it's really worth for you to understand where we're going and why Bitcoin is something that is going to be very valuable and more valuable every time, okay? So a relatively recent example is the Iraqi Swiss dinar. This was the currency of Iraq until the first Gulf War in 1990. The printing plates were manufactured in Switzerland, hence the name. And the printing was outsourced to the United Kingdom in 1991. Iraq was divided with the Kurds controlling the north and Saddam Hussein the south. Due to sanctions, Iraq could not import dinar from the UK and had to start local production. In May 1993, the Central Bank of Iraq announced that citizens had 3 weeks to exchange old dinars for new ones. Afterward, the old dinar would be unredeemable. The old Iraqi Swiss dinar, however, continued to be used in the north. In the south, the new dinar suffered from extreme inflation. Eventually, the exchange rate was 300 new dinars for a single Iraqi Swiss dinar. The key insight here is that the Iraqi Swiss dinar had no official backing, but it was accepted as money. There was no tangible value, yet it had value. Importantly, value can be derived from both tangible and intangible sources. So this is the same with Bitcoin. The features of Bitcoin that we have mentioned and we'll mention now, are key to understanding what makes it valuable and why is it so important, right? So what makes Bitcoin valuable? And think about this. It's pretty simple. First of all, it's scarce. There will always be a limited supply of 21 million Bitcoin. Some of it's already been mined. It's out in the market. Some of it hasn't been mined yet. It's decentralized. There is no Fed or central banking system regulating the economy or its governance, right? It's transparent. You can see all of the transactions on the blockchain. It's opaqueness. Nobody knows who the sender or receiver is, right? It's fast, okay? It's pretty fast. You can send money with low rates all around the world really fast. It's not reputable, okay? And the price is given by the demand on Bitcoin and the demand in the market. So that's what makes it very unique, and that's what makes Bitcoin different. And I believe Bitcoin will be the holding asset for wealth for the future, and that will not change. There will be other coins, other tokens, other projects that will do different things. However, Bitcoin will be the main vertical, in my opinion, for holding wealth and to be able to. So what El Salvador did, it's obviously criticized by a lot of opponents, but it's something that it will give a huge potential to their economy. Think about this thing, and I'm going to give you an example to think about in this class today. So any asset or anything that you can think about, let's say you are a home constructor and you decide to go into a new city, a new town that's being built, and there's not many people, but you start building homes in a certain neighborhood near Boca Raton, Florida. And there starts to be demand of those homes. So what are you going to do? You're going to provide more supply. You're going to build more homes. And not just that. So there's going to be other competitors that will come and will compete with you and will start building homes in that same place if they have access to land, or they have access to building there. And there will be more supply, we eventually will put the price in a limited point. However, the only asset that I can think of that will always be limited to 21 million is Bitcoin. And that's very, 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 very unique, because there won't be any more. So today, if you don't have any Bitcoin, and I made this exercise a couple of years ago, and I was really, I thought to myself, why didn't I buy Bitcoin when I first learned about it? Because back in 2017, sorry, I went to Thailand. I met someone that had made over $900 million with Bitcoin, and I didn't invest back then. It took me a while, but I should have. If I had bought some Bitcoin back then, probably now my asset will have a lot of value in that particular space. But we're not late. We're new in this market. So it's very interesting to see and understand how this will continue to grow and grow. And Bitcoin will be something that will have changed the future of the world economically and financially. So I hope this class was really a good class, and you can take a lot of it, watch it again, go in depth. I really, really recommend to go and buy a book, get a book called The Bitcoin Standard. It will help you understand in depth the uniqueness of Bitcoin. Okay, well, until now.